Good evening everyone. As a continuation to the previous video, now let us start deriving the transducer power gain. So the transducer power gain is a ratio of power delivered to the load by power available from the source. So it is a ratio which is written as PL divided by PA. Now let us start with the source side and then we'll move on to the load side. So if you see at the source side, we have drawn the general block diagram already. So let us refer to the block diagram once again. So if you see here, we have already named a term called as incident power. So incident power is the power that is available from the RF source. But what do we mean by this term available power? The power that is available at the input of the amplifier, that is what we call to be the available power. And we cannot always guarantee that the incident power will be equal to the available power because of lot of factors present in between that causes attenuation. So to measure the available power, we need to first know what is the incident power, and from the incident power I'll be calculating what is the available power at the input of the amplifier. So let us start by calculating the incident power. So the step 1 in the transducer derivation, I'm going to calculate what is your incident power from the source. Now what is the formula that we saw for power already? Power was, it was half of the particular wave the whole square. So I'm going to calculate the incident wave. Now what is the wave that is present here? Just refer to this diagram. What is the wave that is present at the RF source? It is B1 dash. So the formula for power must be half of B1 dash square. So to calculate the incident power, we need to know what is B1 dash. So how to calculate B1 dash? Now let us refer to the signal flow graph. So B1 dash is present here. This B1 dash contains two incoming waves. It is Bs from here and tau s into A1 dash from here. So therefore B1 dash will be Bs plus tau s into A1 dash. So from the signal flow graph, we are going to write B1 dash is equal to Bs plus tau s into A1 dash. But once again, what is this term A1 dash? Once again, referring to the signal flow graph, we will compare this signal flow graph with the general block diagram. If we see here, we have named the source reflection coefficient in between A1 dash and B1 dash terminals. Between A1 and B1, here it is tau in, here it is S11. So tau in is almost equal to the term S11. So we will actually say that a self loop is created here. Self loop means this flows in this path and comes back to the source. So we call this looping structure to be a self loop. So I can draw the self loop as, we have Bs from the source, we have B1 dash, this we named this as tau s in the block diagram, and the feedback path from B1 dash to A1 dash, we name it to be tau in. Now from this, if we calculate A1 dash will be tau in into B1 dash. So I'm going to write A1 dash is equal to tau in into B1 dash. Now substitute this A1 dash here. So this becomes B1 dash is equal to, this is Bs plus tau s into tau in into B1 dash. Bring all B1 dash terms to one side. So this becomes B1 dash minus tau s tau in B1 dash is equal to Bs. Take B1 dash commonly outside. So this becomes B1 dash into 1 minus tau s into tau in is equal to Bs. So therefore we get B1 dash to be Bs divided by 1 minus tau s into tau in. Now why do we calculate this B1 dash? We calculate B1 dash because the incident power formula is, it is half of B1 dash the whole square. So substitute B1 dash in this formula. So therefore we will be getting the incident power is equal to 1 by 2 into this term the whole square. So it is Bs square divided by 1 minus tau s into tau in the whole square. Let this be equation number 1. Now as per the definition of the RF networks, for a two-port network we saw that, or for any n-port network we saw that S is equal to B divided by A. Now similarly, as per the definition of RF networks, tau n square is defined as the ratio of reflected power to the ratio of incident power. This holds true because this is actually equal to this. Reflected power might be half of Bn square. Incident power will be half of An square. When half gets cancelled, square gets cancelled, we get this back to be the same, Bn by An. So therefore, we can equate this formula to the same B by A. So as per the definition of RF networks, mod of tau n square is equal to the reflected power divided by the incident power. So from this we can write the reflected power is equal to P incident into mod of tau n square. We'll have this as equation number 2. Now what is the definition for the transducer power gain? It is a ratio of power delivered to the load by actual power at the source. So to calculate the actual power, first let us calculate what might be the input power. So this is our step 2. I'm going to calculate what is the input power. So the input power is the incident power minus the reflected power. So this is equal to incident power. What is reflected power? We'll substitute equation 2. So this becomes P incident into mod of tau n square. So we'll take P incident commonly outside. So this is 1 minus mod of tau n square. This is your input power. Now we know P incident already we calculated from equation number 1. So when we substitute, let this be 3. When we substitute 1 in 3, we get P incident is equal to, so this is B square divided by 2 into 1 minus tau is tau in the whole square. This was the value of the incident power into 1 minus mod of tau in the whole square. So therefore, the input power P input is given as, it is B square into 1 minus mod of tau in square divided by 2 into 1 minus tau s tau in the whole square. Let this be equation number 4. So in the previous steps we have calculated the incident power and the input power. Our next step is to calculate the available power. Now how to find out the available power? So once again, as per the block diagram, we have inserted a matching network in between. So only if this terminal and this terminal are matched, we can say that the total power gets transferred from the input power to your available power. Which means I can say that the input power will be equal to available power under the maximum power transfer condition. So what does the maximum power transfer theorem state? It states that the input impedance will be a complex conjugate of the impedance to which it is matched. So matching means these two impedances must be equal. So here we have the source impedance, here it will be your input impedance. So here it is tau s, here it is tau in. In terms of impedance, we will write Zs must be equal to Zin, or in terms of coefficients, we will write tau s must be equal to tau in. So when tau s is equal to tau in, we will say that the two terminals are matched to each other. And as per maximum power transfer theorem, the input impedance must be a complex conjugate of your impedance to which I am matching. So we can write tau in equal to tau s by matching condition. Also by maximum power transfer theorem, we can ensure that tau in will be equal to tau s conjugate. Now coming to the calculation of available power, we already found that input power from equation 4, it was B square into 1 minus mod of tau in square divided by 2 into 1 minus tau s into tau in the whole square. Now substituting the above conditions, we can write this as B square into 1 minus mod of tau in can be written as tau s. So it is 1 minus mod of tau s square divided by 2 into, it is 1 minus, it is tau s into, tau in can be written as tau s conjugate. So it is tau s into tau s conjugate. So this will be simplified as, this is B square into 1 minus mod of tau a square whole divided by 2 into, this term has a square in it, I missed out the square, so it will be 1 minus a into a star is a square, so this will become 1 minus tau a square the whole square. So one term of this and one term of this gets cancelled, so we are getting the available power after applying the maximum power transfer condition to be, it is b square by 2 into 1 minus mod of tau square. So let me have this as equation number 5. So we have found the first part of GT, the denominator part, which is power available at the source. The next step is to calculate the power delivered to the load. So now we have finished the source side. Now we'll move on to the load side. The next step is to calculate the power delivered to the load. Now once again, referring to the block diagram, we know power, it is 1 by 2 into the reflected power. So it is half of the formula that we have derived already. The net power was half of an square minus bn square, which means the incident power minus the reflected power. Now coming to the load side, if you see the incident wave here, it is B2 and the reflected wave here is A2. So this formula we are going to write in terms of the load. So I am going to write the formula for power delivered to the load as 1 by 2 into, see this, what is the power that is incident here? It is B2. Power that is reflected here is A2. So this will be B2 square minus A2 square. And as per definition, we can write tau L to be A2 by B2. So from here we get A2 is equal to tau L into B2. So substituting this in the above equation, we will be getting PL is equal to, it is 1 by 2 into B2 square, this has a modulus, minus tau L square into B2 square. So this becomes 1 by 2 into, we can take B2 square commonly outside, so this becomes 1 minus mod of tau L square. So this is the available power at the load. We'll have this as equation number 6. Now we have found what is the available power. We have found what is the load power. Our last step is to find out the transducer power gain. So GT is a ratio of PL by PA. Now PL we have found this to be B2 square by 2 into 1 minus mod of tau L square. We have found PA to be B square by 2 into 1 by 1 minus mod of tau square. So we will reciprocate this term and then we will simplify. So on reciprocating, we get this to be B2 square by 2 into 1 minus mod of tau L square into, this term becomes, it is 2 by B square into 1 minus mod of tau square. So this 2 can get cancelled. So we will be getting the transducer power gain formula to be, it is B2 square divided by B square into 1 minus mod of tau L square into 1 minus mod of tau square. This is the formula for the transducer power gain in terms of the coefficients at the source and load. In the next derivation, we will see how to derive the same GT in terms of S parameters. That is a continuation to this. So in this video, I'll stop here. This is the formula for GT, but this is in terms of tau L and tau S. In the next video, let us see the continuation for this, where we derive GT in terms of S parameters.